Hello and welcome to today's video as we cover Worlds 2025 Day 1 with I got two ideas for today's video, but I thought this one was the one we'll go with, and tomorrow we'll go over the 100 Thieves upset win over BLG a little bit closer and consider the significance of what that was. But first, we're going to go over who won and lost today, right? So the winners: Team Secret Whales, CFO, Anyone's Legend, 100 Thieves, Top Esports, KTT1, Gen G. Losers: Vivo Keat Stars, Fnatic, HLE, BLG, G2, Koi, Fly, PSG. And as you can see, lost game one, won game one. Both seasons that we've had this Swiss format, we've had two teams that won game one, not make it to quarters, and won game one, didn't make it to quarters, and lost game one and made it to quarters. So this video is kind of looking at the teams that lost and won and trying to identify who those may be that might follow suit and not get into the quarterfinals. Another reason why I'm doing this, because I have monkeys in the comment section that think like because a team lost one game that they're done, and it's just absolutely, it's just the community and a reflection of their ability. But regardless, the thing is, I look at this and I'm like, HLE and BLG. I mean, really picking against them, figuring out a way to get this done. They're not playing against each other, which is huge, and I have a feeling that they're gonna find a way to get in, beating out two of these teams to get into the main event of the quarterfinals. And theoretically, though, it's kind of interesting that 6 of these 8 teams, based on precedent, make it. Like, I think looking at this, and we say to ourselves, HLE and BLG being the two teams that move on, kind of kick Fly and G2 and be like, oh, well, Fly and G2 are the two teams that are kicked out, and in this case, it'd be KT, CFO that kind of take that spot of those 4 teams that we are theorizing are battling for 2 spots. Because the 6 that'll make it are the top 3 seeds from both regions, and then in addition to T1, or at the time it was IG or T1, that they would find a way to get to the quarterfinal stage. And we look at history and precedent. Last year, T1 and Weibo both lost the first game, and we saw how well T1 did, right? The thought that because an HLE or a BLG, and I'm not trying to throw shade at the other 6 teams, but trying to be realistic here, just because HLE and BLG lost does not mean they can't win Worlds based on this format. And am I doing that because I picked HLE to win Worlds? Maybe a little bit, but at the same time, to say they're dead, I think is so foolish that it's like there's a reason why you're typing it out and you're not gonna like put your face to it, because you would never say that with a straight face. But the players are just too good not to. And you think about it historically, the last 2 times G2 didn't get out after winning. So theoretically, maybe losing is a better strategy for them. They lose, maybe they get an extra BO3, and that helps them get into quarterfinals. Who knows? Maybe that's, I mean, I'm not saying they lost to Top Esports on purpose. Top Esports were a team that I expected to beat G2, but who knows? If you try something different, maybe you'll get different results. G2 did, upset DK in 2023, beating Pain as whatever last year. DK beating Fnatic, that's a game they should win, and then ended up not getting out. C9 beating Mad is a game C9 could win in 2023. Now, interestingly enough, an NRG versus Weibo loss, NRG surprised us all by getting to the quarterfinals in 2023 over G2, right? So, hell, that doesn't mean that a team like, I don't know, Fly losing to T1 means they're dead. We've seen North American teams lose to Eastern teams before, and still make it in this format. You look at KT versus BLG. KT being BLG is, that was probably very competitive. Think back, BLG's roster has been nasty for years. KT has been solid. That's theoretically fair. T1 versus Top Esports. I said, Top Esports were a team capable of winning worlds on paper. Jackie Love usually ends his face off and gets tilted, and things kind of transpire from there, but T1 ended up winning, and Weibo went to semifinals, losing to Gen G's, whatever. Gen G was one of the best teams. Like, let's say this. The 4 teams that lost game 1 that then went on to win, I would surmise, and I definitely know last year is the case, and if I think back 2023, you look at the names on Weibo's roster, Weibo were in that conversation as well as being a team capable of winning the event. So losing to these teams and then moving on, I don't think any of these 4 teams didn't move on last year. Top Esports maybe. No, I think they did move on. But that's the thing. Where over here, you're beating teams like DK. I guess I'm pretty much saying like the Eastern teams I expect to get to quarters, and then the Western teams, it's like, well, I mean, you beat a Western team. NA versus EU, well, that's great. You can take that home and plant your flag. I'm third best. I mean, you got to try and be the best you can, so third best is, if that's the best you can do, that's the best you can do, but I wouldn't like go into a tournament saying I just want to be third best. Maybe be like I want to improve over last time. And if I end up third best, I end up third best. But to think I want to be third best would be kind of weird. But I don't know. The way I look at it, HLE and BLG are the 2 teams that move on. I mean, losing to 100 Thieves is not great for BLG. Not great. That's an ugly loss. That's not an acceptable loss if you're BLG or the BLG faithful or you're the LPL in general. But HLE losing to Anyone's Legend are in contention to win this event. So this whole notion HLE choked, it's like, no, Anyone's Legend are capable of winning the event. Why do people just sell the other team short by saying one team choked? When you say a team chokes, you take all of what the team that won did and take it away. Like, you have placed all the blame on the team that lost and not that the other team just played better than them. You say, oh, well, no, it's both. No, that's not what you're saying. Because you're emphasizing how much somebody lost the game versus saying, Anyone's Legend, they outplayed HLE. Or, 100 Thieves, they got one over on BLG. They played excellent League of Legends. You see Golden Glue post on Twitter, right, that nobody was scrimming them. That helps them. I know I remember hearing things about, like, and maybe every region's like this, but I've heard it specifically about China, that they like to tell each other what they're seeing in scrims. The teams like to tell each other what they're seeing in scrims from other teams that maybe, if Top Esports can't scrim, T1, maybe BLG's telling Top Esports what they're seeing. Like, stuff like that. I've heard rumors to that effect, and it wouldn't surprise me if other regions did as well. But the point is, if the LPL teams are not giving 100 Thieves the time of day, that'll only help 100 Thieves. And then looking over here, like the 2 teams that won that drop out for HLE BLG, I mean, to me, it'd be Team Secret Whales, 100 Thieves. But 100 Thieves won a game today that is significant. Like, that's an upset win. Like, Team Secret Whales over Vivo Keyed Stars, like, I had that one. That one doesn't shock me, but 100 Thieves does. 100 Thieves does. So, in my opinion, it is truly, like, we have flipped FlyQuest G2 with CFO KT as the 2 teams that can get to the final 8 that I didn't have there. Because I guess, actually, yeah, I didn't have all 4 LCK teams making it at first. I had 3. I didn't think KT would do it. KT over Koi, though, I mean, it is against Koi. It is against Koi. And that means their hands are full. Their hands are full against it. I can't believe Mirwin put Mirwin on K-Sante. I mean, Supa ended up doing a lot of work in the bot lane, but come on. Come on, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? So, it's just something to think about. To say some teams are dead because of one day, I mean, that's just the nature of the community. It can't help itself from being exaggerative and hyperbolic about everything, and then wonders why it doesn't get respected or why they don't get seen in the way they'd like to. And it's like, well, I mean, your actions speak for themselves. Um, cannot take back time or what you say. They're out there. Now you can say, oh, I didn't mean it, or oh, I'm sorry, this or that, but you can't take them back. Once I've said this, I've said it. So, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.